Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm going to do an unboxing and initial review of a brand new pistol from Taurus. And this is the new Taurus GX4XL. Let's take a look at this together. And like I always do in my initial reviews, I'm just going to go through the pistol, all of its different features, and my initial impressions, and we'll get out to the range soon and do some shooting for you. But I must tell you this first. I really like the Taurus GX4 a lot. I have several of them since that pistol came out in 2021. And with this being a new version of the GX4, I'm really excited about it. So it comes in a nice new Taurus hard shell case, which is really cool. Always a bonus to get a good case with your new pistol. It comes with your paperwork and your owner's manual. Look, if you're new to guns, especially read your owner's manual. Lots of good information, safety information, how to care for the firearm. Taurus puts out a really nice manual, and even if you're just new to this type of pistol, I highly suggest you read it. Also, one other quick reminder. This pistol does come with a lifetime warranty, and it's going to give you a little card here to remind you to go on their website and take care of that. So, lifetime warranty, that's always a good thing, and you'll want to take advantage of getting registered for that. It comes with a gun lock. I'm getting quite the collection of these. I know some of you guys have too. There's an 11 round magazine in the pistol, as well as an extra 13 rounder. Another back strap, which is going to change the grip profile. And a little keychain, which is pretty neat. It looks like a miniature GX4, and you can see it's also going to couple as a little handy takedown tool there. So let me get this case out of the way. Let's take a look. How many of you guys have a Taurus GX4? And if you do, chime in the comments and let me know what you think about it. It's like an all-new design from Taurus they came out with last year, and awesome. Really like my GX4, and I frequently carry it, so let's take a look at what we have here. I'm just going to kind of scroll through so you guys can take a peek. This is the XL, which, as you might have already guessed, means extra long. This is a long slide Taurus GX4 9mm. Now, some of you guys already know about the GX4, and I've done several videos, but I'm just going to go from start to finish through this pistol, because there's a lot of people that are just looking at the GX4 period and maybe new to these type of guns. Now, I will say, on this new release, they're making a regular iron sight version, which is what I have here, and there's also a T.O.R.O that's being released. I'm starting off with just a regular, basic iron sights version, which is awesome for many of you, and as soon as I get a T.O.R.O, I'll be back on this channel again to do a review, so make sure you're subscribed and always check that Taurus playlist. The T.O.R.O. I'm just going to get this out of the way real quick because people are going to be asking about it. It's going to be very similar as far as optics goes to the regular GX4 T.O.R.O, which I've reviewed here. Actually identical, with the slide being cut for the Shield RMSC pattern, which also includes different micro hollow suns like this 407K, 507K, and other options out there. So basically the T.O.R.O part is going to be the same as the GX4 T.O.R.O, but this is the regular non-optics cut version, and I think this is one that a lot of you will like. And if not, there's going to be a T.O.R.O version out too for those of you that like to do your concealed carry with a red dot sight. So what do we have here? This is a micro compact 9mm long slide pistol, whereas the GX4 had a 3.06 inch barrel, basically 3 inches flush. This has a 3.7. And that's going to add some advantages right off the bat. So we're going to have a longer barrel, which is going to give the bullet a little bit more time to dwell within there and build up a little more pressure. And you're going to end up with a little more velocity, more terminal performance or ballistics from that projectile. So that's definitely a plus. We're also going to have a longer sight radius. Since it has an appropriately longer slide, this measures about 3/4 of an inch by my measurements longer than the regular GX4 T.O.R.O. And I'll show these a little closer side by side in just a few minutes. Longer sight radius, distance between the rear sight and front sight, which leads to most people shooting it a little more accurately. Also, with a little bit of extra weight, this weighs a couple ounces more, you're going to have a little more weight out on the front of the gun. With a little bit longer slide and barrel, It's going to help with felt recoil and especially muzzle flip for smoother, quicker, easier follow-up shots, which is really nice, especially in a little compact pistol like this. The slide, carbon steel, nitrided, very nice fit and finish. Nice cocking serrations in the rear. You know, they're not overly abrupt or super aggressive, and that's what I want for a concealed carry pistol. Depending on what type of holster you have, sometimes this area might rub up against your skin or your undershirt. I don't like the stuff that like grabs and wants to like rip your skin off when you're carrying it, but plenty adequate. Very easy to rack here over the top in this manner. Plenty enough serrations, but not too much. Same thing in the front. There's a little up here. Some of you like to rack from the front to do a little press check, and that's certainly there for you. The slide has a nice bevel to it, which makes it easier to reholster here on the nose of the firearm, and you can see along the sides. Also, I think it gives it a nice little good aesthetic looks too. Very handsome looking pistol. Let me know if you guys agree. It's kind of just like really simple, the lines and design of it, and I like it quite a bit. I said this about my Taurus GX4. The lines and styling, especially in here, reminds me a lot of the TX22. Let me know if any of you agree with that. 3.7-inch barrel. And the barrel is DLC treated, which is diamond-like carbon. I've had this on a couple different Taurus pistols now, and this treatment's held up very well. A nice black coating. So you can see the barrel matches the slide nicely with the black nitride color here, and then that black DLC. Nice stiff recoil spring, which is good, and a little micro compact. It's going to help reduce that recoil a little bit for you. And there's going to be several questions you guys have about this that, due to YouTube terms, I'm just not going to be able to show here. So make sure you guys check the description and pinned comment for a link to my Locals community. Locals is a censorship-free site where I provide tons of extra content, including right after you're done watching this, head over there for some bonus footage. I'm going to show you the insides of this, and I'm even going to play a little Legos, because I already know the questions you guys are going to ask. Will this work with this, with this? I've got the answer for you guys, so make sure you go over there and check that out on Locals for a follow-up review, and I do weekly live streams there and everything where I touch guns. Great time. So speaking of shootability, I've actually found my regular GX4 to be an awesome little shooter. Now you think of a micro compact 9, and trust me, I've had plenty of them before, where they're kind of like little rockets in your hand. They kick and they buck, and they can be hard for a lot of people to manage, especially if you have weak hand strength or just many different variables. Not quite so much with the GX4. See, this is actually an integral chassis pistol. Polymer grip frame, but there's full length, like a quite beefy polished stainless steel chassis and rails that the slide reciprocates on, and that absorbs and takes care of much of the impact and felt recoil. And with the regular GX4 being a very smooth shooter, especially for a micro compact, probably the smoothest micro compact I've ever shot, to be honest, it's only going to get a little bit better with this GX4XL. Like I said, a little bit longer slide. That's going to help, as well as that little bit of extra weight out front. I haven't shot this one yet, but I already know, just a prior experience, this one's even going to shoot just a little bit smoother than the original. Now, the gun's a little bit bigger in the slide. And I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to the concealed carryability, how well you can conceal, how comfortable it is, a little bit longer slide is actually the easier part to conceal, in my opinion, rather than a longer grip frame, and especially a wider gun. So if you look at the lower here, it's going to be the same size as the GX4. Still nice and thin, coming in at about 1 inch flush, which is awesome. This is just a little about 6.5 inches long total, so not bad at all. And the height is about 4.4 inches, so still a very small gun. Think about the G3C, for example, which I love. One of my favorite Taurus pistols. Like, they're totally awesome, guys. I still love shooting it, but we are thinner here. Thin enough to actually matter for concealed carry. And unlike the 3.2-inch barrel of the G3C, G2C, we have an extra 1/2 inch barrel length. So this gun's going to have longer barrel, better terminal performance, longer sight radius than a G3C, but yet also be thinner with almost the same flush fit magazine capacity, if that gives you guys a little idea of what we're talking about here. All right, other concealed carry features. Let's go down to the frame. So a polymer grip frame, if you will, but within the true guts of this is that stainless steel chassis. That's what makes this different than some of the previous Taurus semi-automatic pistol designs, and I seriously think that's the secret to why these things shoot so darn smooth. We're going to take a look here. Real simple, minimalistic controls. Slide catch here, which is easy for me to reach up and actuate, especially when I'm not on camera. You'll notice there's no manual frame-mounted safety on this firearm, and that's actually a really big deal to me, in a good way. Now look, every time I say this, there's people out there that really want a manual safety on their striker-fired firearm, and I get it. If that's what you want, Taurus still makes plenty of guns like that. You do you. But for me, if I'm carrying a striker-fired gun like this, we already have several safeties here, and I really don't want that frame safety. It's just something else that could inadvertently get switched on, something that could snag from the holster, and I really like how minimalistic this pistol is with its controls. And it has several safeties already built into it that I'm going to go over here in just 1 second. We're going to come down here. You can see again, very, very sleek design. There's no tabs for takedown. There's no switch or lever like you'll see on certain guns. Now, there's just a little spot here that you use your keychain tool that will help you take it down. I'm going to do that in the locals video, and it's literally just like a quarter turn, and the slide's going to come off. And you can also use a piece of spent brass too, so you don't have to carry the keychain with you everywhere you go. Even though you might want to, because it's actually a neat little replica of your pistol, right? As far as how does this fit in my hands? Well, just like the GX4, the answer is excellent. Awesome. The contouring is just right. It has enough beaver tail here where I'm not worried about any type of slide bite, even with a very high grip. I grip these type handguns basically as high as you possibly can, and I'm still not worried about any kind of slide bite there, so that's nice. Also, like a lot of the Taurus pistols, it just has a nice shape. Here you can see I shoot with more of a thumbs forward grip. There's a little recess in here that just happens to fit perfectly for my finger there. I come off with my support hand, and there's like a little textured memory pad where my thumb just kind of wants to naturally gravitate towards. And it gives me a really nice feel on this pistol. So, very good as far as the ergonomics. Also, when I'm in the ready position, you can see another little memory pad area here. And it just happens to be perfect for my shooting finger to rest. When I bring my finger down into the trigger guard, I have that same little scalloped out recess area there where my finger just molds right in and wants to go right into that trigger guard. And very, very comfortable. The grip texture, it has more of a micro texture, not overly aggressive. Like when you're just touching it against your hands, it doesn't feel bad at all, but it's the type of texture that I've noticed the harder you squeeze, the harder your grip is, the more it bites into your fingers and provides a very, very secure grip. The gun doesn't feel like it wants to wiggle out whatsoever, even with wet hands, because I have shot my GX4 in the rain before. My grip stays good and it just never feels like it wants to slip or slide. That's definitely an awesome thing there. So I definitely like the grip texture quite a bit. Now it's going to come with the standard back strap. You can see the profile there. If you guys want to change that where you have more of a higher grip angle, okay, you can see this one kind of bows or bulbs out a little bit more in the back. That's easily swappable by you after you get your pistol, and it'll change it for that higher grip angle that some of you might like. For me, I just stick with the one that comes on it, and I think that's perfect. Not many controls on this pistol, really. I already showed you the slide catch here. Mag release, this being a small pistol, you want to move that pinky if you're using the flush fit 11 round mag, because it can sometimes inadvertently block. So I'm going to move that pinky out of the way, press, and you can see the mag just drops free like it's nothing. Very easy mag release to get to. Nice shape to it. And this mag release is reversible here for a right-handed shooter like myself. And you can swap it around to make it easier for a lefty to use. So that's nice. That's a good feature. Now it also comes with a 13-round magazine. And for those of you that live in banned states, they have a 10-round version as well that will be available. So with the 13, now I definitely have a full pinky grip here. Very comfortable. Plenty of capacity. Man, this thing's thin too. It just feels so good in my hands. I shoot more like this, but it does have a squared off trigger guard. I know some of you like to grab that off finger there, the pointer finger, and come around to the front of the trigger guard. So if that's your style, yeah, that would be perfectly fine, I suppose. Nice area for you to grip up there. I know everyone likes to hold their handgun in different ways, so it's cool. Nothing overly aggressive though. It just kind of blends right in. Let's take a look at the front here. Nice crown on this barrel. See that recessed crown? Which is nice, because if you were to inadvertently drop the pistol or bump the end of it here, where the bullet leaves the barrel, the very, very end of the rifling, that's actually like the most important part for your final accuracy and stabilization. By them recessing the rifling in there, most likely, you never know, but in most cases, this crown, it's called here, area, there's no rifling on the outside. The rifling's recessed in just a little bit. That would most likely bear the brunt of that drop and keep your rifling intact. So that's definitely awesome. This version with iron sights, it has a blacked out rear sight here, which is steel. Very nice. Followed by a white dot in the front. The camera is hard to focus there, but I think you guys can see the sight picture. Plenty adequate for me. Yep, that white dot, can pick that right up in between that serrated, blacked out rear sight. Okay, the whole manual frame mounted safety thing. Again, I'm loving it that there's such minimalistic controls. There's basically nothing on here to snag or fool around with. You literally have a slide catch and a mag release. Like, you have to have those. Other than that, there's nothing on the sides of this pistol. Now, some people will say this gun doesn't have a safety. Look, again, it might not have the manual frame mounted safety that's your preference, and again, you do you. I truly mean that. But there are several safeties in this gun. Now, with all firearms, the most important safety, no matter what, all of the time, is right here. That's on you. Following the rules of gun safety to a T every time. Nobody's ever going to get hurt, okay? But the gun does have some physical safeties. We're going to go over the trigger in 1 minute, but we can see that it does have the safety blade on the trigger, meaning if you just inadvertently sideswipe this trigger, it will not pull. You must first press the blade safety, then you can get the striker to drop. It also has a drop safety, or a striker blocker, built in to the internals of the slide, meaning no matter how hard it's dropped on the ground or hit or whatever, there's a physical object that's going to run interference and stand in between letting that striker fall forward and then hitting the primer of the firearm. And you can only move that striker blocker out of the way, the drop safety, if you've indeed gone through the motion of pulling the trigger. It will move that out of the way to allow the striker to fall. We also have a loaded chamber indicator, which we are empty now, but you would, under most lighting conditions, be able to see that piece of shiny brass in there. So that's definitely something else that'll help with that. So the firearm definitely has safeties on there. And again, I think we're responsible for our own safety as far as pointing firearms in safe directions and knowing what your target is. Never shoot at anything that you don't want to destroy. Knowing what's beyond your target. Always treat your gun as though it's loaded. The basics of gun safety that we've all grown up on and we should definitely always think about. Yeah, this gun's pretty lightweight. It comes in at around 20 ounces. That's not bad for a 3.7 inch barreled firearm, right? You know, it just depends. I've been carrying a regular GX4 for a while, GX4 T.O.R.O. It kind of depends what mood I'm in, what I'm wearing, what holster I'm using, because I do have several, but definitely with a 13 round mag, it's more shootable. I think almost anybody's going to have their pinky hang off the frame, right? Now they do make little pinky extensions, which I've shown on this channel for the 11 round mag. That definitely helps. So there's kind of 3 different options there. 11 round flush fit. That's going to be maximum for concealment. That's the shortest from top to bottom you're going to be able to get this firearm. Okay. You get it just a little bit here in the front, a little bit of length on the grip frame with the pinky extension, and that's the option that I kind of tend to carry with the most. Then there's the 13 rounder, which I definitely prefer at the range, and sometimes when I'm carrying and I want that little bit of extra firepower, I may choose to put the 13 in the gun and then have the 11 as the reload. Whereas normally I'll run the 11 in the GX4 and then have the 13 on tap for the reload. So that's nice that they give you the 2 different options there. You can see the magazine is a double stack, single feed. We can see quite the taper there for it to be able to feed into this very narrow slide. Remember, like I said earlier, we're talking only 1 inch thick, which is very, very thin for this type of firearm. I mean, it's literally, like if you use calipers, 1.08 inches, which definitely rounds to 1 inch even as far as I'm concerned. We'll give you guys a look there. You can actually see a peek at part of that stainless steel chassis where they're going to have the serial number there. Make sure you're checking out that bonus locals video, because I'm going to go inside of this real quick, as well as do a little bit of swapping back and forth. Alright, so I'm going to show you this little spec sheet. Also, a little diagram here. This is in the brand new owner's manual that's updated for the GX4XL. So some of you guys may want to come in and pause this here. I think you guys can get a nice look there. That's the parts breakdown of the pistol. Takedown pin, barrel, trigger safety, mag release, loaded chamber indicator, all that stuff. That interchangeable backstrap grip. Now here's some of the raw data, and I'm also going to post a PDF with data over to locals because they have that capability. We're looking at, you can see a little difference between the GX4 and the GX4XL. I would note one thing on this chart. It shows the overall length is only about 0.4 inches longer on the GX4XL. I noticed it to be about 0.7 inches longer, front to back, which makes sense because it has a 0.7 inch longer barrel, weighing in only at 20 ounces, driftable rear sight. The frame, like I said, stainless steel. That's that chassis. And you guys can take a look at all of that there. Firing pin block, trigger safety, visual loaded chamber indicator, and reversible magazine release. Man, I can't wait to shoot this. The regular GX4s I have. And I'm serious, guys. If you have a place where you could borrow one of these from a friend, test it out at a range that rents guns. Look, there's different strokes for different folks, and all different guns, you know, are around for different reasons, because some guns are best for one person, another gun might be better for someone else. However, I just want to tell you this. Give one of these a shot, because you may have shot a little micro compact 9 before, and it may have held half the rounds of this, because a lot of them only hold like 6 rounds, and they're like the same size, if not even a little bit bigger in some cases than the GX4. And you might have shot it and it just bucked like a Bronco, and it was uncomfortable to shoot, and it just felt too snappy. Okay, everyone has different scenarios, different hand strengths. I don't judge anybody on that. Trust me, I'm the last person that cares, you know, how much recoil you can take. The GX4 is different than most micro compacts I've shot. With that chassis, how ergonomic everything is, you might be surprised. For example, I have a YouTube video with my GX4 at the range, my regular one, and this is only going to be smoother with this longer slide, guys, and longer barrel, okay? But my wife was shooting several Taurus pistols with me. The G2C, the G3C, which she really likes a lot, actually. Then she shot the GX4, and I asked her, which one do you like best? And she was pretty quick. This was her first time she had shot these. She just pointed and she said that one. The GX4, and that is on my GX4 at the range video you guys can check out. The Taurus playlist now has 101 videos, so make sure you check out my Taurus playlist if you're new to the channel, or if you've been around and just didn't know I had done that many Taurus videos. So my wife really likes shooting the regular GX4. I'll probably ever shoot this one with me too to get her impressions. Or maybe I shouldn't actually, because I bought her a regular GX4. And this is my only GX4XL, so maybe I'm not going to let her shoot it right away. So don't tell her about this part of the video, because what if she likes this way better and commandeers it? And then I won't have one, so shh, I appreciate it, guys. Alright, like I said, there is a T.O.R.O version of the GX4XL. I don't have it yet, but I will have it soon. But I do have the regular GX4 T.O.R.O here with the Hollow Sun 407K. And as you can see, this is part of the carry routine. And we are clear. Here I have the pinky extension on the regular GX4, which I've talked about in the past, okay? Overall footprint goes. Okay, we're going to line these up in the back. We're looking at basically the same grip frame. I know some of you guys are going to wonder about switching this with this. Check the pinned comment. That's going to be in the locals video. You can watch right after this. But same profile here. Same profile up and down. We can just see there's that little extra footprint with that pinky extension there. Keep these lined up. This is always fun to do on camera. Alright, let me come up here. Okay, so we can basically see the pinky extension on the regular GX4 there. Overall length, front to back. This is where you're going to have that approximately 3/4 of an inch with the XL in the rear here, followed by the footprint of the GX4. I know I've already asked you guys to leave a couple comments already, but if you're still watching, look, I'd like to get your comments. Like, I talk to the people from Taurus as much as I can, and I definitely give your input back to them. What do you guys think when you're concealed carrying a pistol? There's several dimensions that matter as far as how easily you can conceal it. Is it the length front to back that gets you? In my case, not so much, but let me know. Is it the height top to bottom that gets you? Yeah, I definitely noticed that. Or is it the thickness? Or in this case, how thin it is? To me, how thin it is probably the most important dimension. Super thin here, so check. As far as the overall grip length, if I choose to run the flush fit 11 round mag, very short top to bottom, right? So that's awesome. This part I'm able to conceal much easier, so we'll see. This is brand new. Like I said, I've been wanting to carry it around for a little while now, but I always wait until the release date for you guys because I want to do a raw, natural unboxing just like you would. I know some of you guys can't buy one of these yet, or you're thinking about it, so I try to bring you guys in the shop with me as much as I can so we can just kind of experience it together and talk and hang out with these pistols. Now here's a GX4, just the regular, non-T.O.R.O. This came out last May, and I've shot it a good deal since then. Again, love shooting this pistol. This is the JM4 magnetic holster, by the way, which is like totally awesome. Check out the link in the description for more information on this. I've done videos on locals before, and I will do more soon here on YouTube. Awesome little holster there. Let's run this up against the GX4XL. The grip frame is the same dimensions. I squeezed them a little bit too tight and kicked that mag right out of there. I've never inadvertently dropped a mag out of here just handling it. It's just normally like when I draw a Taurus to shoot it, I'm not pulling two out at once, so that happens when you're squeezing two of them together and stuff. Someone's gonna say, oh my gosh, there was a faulty mag release. Yeah, only when I do the dual wield. I mean, I don't draw this. I wonder if I could pull that off. Alright, I'm gonna get out of here. This video's been going pretty long already. So we can see about that 3/4 of an inch difference in the slide there. Longer barrel, longer sight radius. That's kind of cool. The other dimensions are going to line up basically exactly the same with the grip frames. Now, there's one more thing, and I didn't mean to bury this at the end of the video. I just now thought of it. I know it's something some of you guys are going to say down in the comments. And it's something that I wish Taurus had done too. You'll notice from the very beginning with the GX4, there's no Picatinny rail on the dust cover, okay? They didn't put one on the T.O.R.O, and there's also not one on the GX4XL. Now, for me personally, I don't care. Like, it doesn't bother me at all, because when I'm carrying a small pistol like the GX4 or the GX4XL, I'm not going to be adding anything to my gun like that, because this is more of a deep concealment gun. I would tend to carry a light on my other pocket or on my waist, and not necessarily mount it to this, but that's just my preference, because I want this to be as compact and concealable as possible. However, I know some of you do want to install lights on your micro compact, and I wish there was a way Taurus could put that on there. So if there is any constructive criticism to this pistol, that would be it. Now, due to the design, I'm not an engineer. There may be reasons why they weren't able to do that. I don't know, okay? But that's about the only thing on it that I don't like. Now, I've talked about the GX4 trigger quite a bit before. Let's go over this one here. I think the GX4 trigger is awesome. It is a single action trigger, meaning it does not have the restrike like some of the other Taurus offerings. Let's get that. This is a reminder, guys. Lifetime warranty. So one last reminder. Awesome. Single action trigger. Flat face. Blade safety here. So no restrike. But that's okay with me, because I think this trigger is literally awesome for what it's made for, which in my opinion is more of a concealed carry gun. Okay. So we're just going to depress the safety here. Now that allows us to pull the trigger. We can see just a little bit of take up. That's pretty short, guys. I don't know what the camera's making it look like, but it's not much. And then just a nice, short, crisp pull. Let me rock the slide. Check out the reset. Now this is a brand new trigger. It's going to get better after I pull it a few times. Right there. Very short. Very crisp, short follow-up. Let's look at this again. Shooting off the old reset here. Watch this. There. This trigger's short. It's crisp. Not a featherlight trigger though, which is actually awesome. Now in certain types of target shooting, of course, it's nice to have a trigger that if you breathe on it, it surprises you and goes off. Not on a concealed carry piece. Even when following all the rules of gun safety, you don't ever want to get, okay, in a position where you've acquired your target, adrenaline's pumping, you're not quite sure, and you jerked and accidentally breathed and made the trigger go off. That's not the type of trigger I would ever desire in a concealed carry gun. But this one hits the spot. It's right there. Just a teeny bit of take up, so now I hit a wall. I know where it's going to break. And it's stiff enough where I'm not going to accidentally pull it. Check. Awesome for concealed carry. However, it's very, very easy to shoot off of reset with the short reset there. Crisp follow-up. And it's not like it's a million-pound trigger. It's pretty easy to pull, but it has just enough weight to it where I feel very comfortable for concealed carry. Concealed carry gun, especially a small gun. This being the XL, it is going to have a little more effective range, okay? Better sight radius, little better terminal performance with that projectile, okay? But it's still a small gun. Still a teeny gun if you think about it. I look at a gun like this more as, get off me, okay? And you may have to, depending on what the threat is. There's many scenarios. You may have to unload rather quickly. These guns shoot very, very fast with that short, quick reset. When you're actually shooting it, the trigger is very easy to pull, but not so light that it could inadvertently just go off by brushing it. So that's awesome. The actual shoe, very comfortable. You can see more of an angle here with a straight blade. The safety, take a quick peek at that, is very wide with little grip serrations. And look at that, it fits completely flush with the face of that trigger shoe. Now I love the G2C, especially my G2C, because it was the first Taurus pistol I ever reviewed here. And I've met so many awesome friends, you guys that are still my friends today, from me getting that gun and then falling in love with, oh, look at here. Let me get out of the way. That whole stack of Taurus is there. Yeah. G2C started it all. Love that gun. The blade safety, though, it still always stuck a little bit proud of the shoe. Very shootable gun. Trigger was fine, but a little bit annoying. Not this one. Very, very wide trigger shoe here. and just very comfortable. I've not ran into, you know, fatigue or like a little hot spot in the middle of the pad on my finger. So that's definitely awesome. All right, I've gone over quite a bit with this. I will definitely do follow-ups on the range with it, and head over to Locals. It's free to join, or it's a place you can support, and I'm going to go under the hood, if you will, and show you guys that chassis and a little bit of Legos, which is going to be a heck of a lot of fun. All right, more videos with this. The whole Taurus collection's coming. Now that I can talk about this, I'm going to do my whole Taurus collection video, as well as we can do some side-by-side with the regular GX4, GX4XL. Bring the GX4 T.O.R.O in the mix, and I'll give you guys my opinions on which one handles better. Felt recoil, ergonomics, carryability, concealability, all of that kind of cool stuff. All right, I'll be back with more Taurus videos soon, and let me know what you think about the GX4XL. An improvement, if you will, new version of one of my favorite Taurus pistols, and I'm really excited about it. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and have a good one.